the representatives of the Houses of Parliament, Professor Margaret Kamar and Jennifer Shamala, the Judicial Service Commissioners present here today, the representatives of the justice players and stakeholders in the justice system, Honorable Anna Madi, the Chief Registrar, judicial officers, staff and registrars, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to observe all the protocols that have been listed this morning. Before I give my remarks, first allow me again to congratulate the Honourable the Chief Justice on her appointment and for according me this great honour and privilege to chair this newly constituted Administration of Justice and Performance Management Committee of the Judiciary, whose membership and mandate has been expanded. Thank you so much, Honourable Chief Justice, and congratulations. It has been more than half a decade now since the introduction of performance management framework in the judiciary, and I look back with satisfaction at the great strides that we have made across the institution. It cannot be gainsaid that performance management is broadly accepted as one of the modern management practices that augments and enshrines the values of transparency and accountability, both in the public and private sector. By now, we all appreciate that in judiciaries across the world, a key percept of enhancing service delivery and improving administration of justice is through application of the international measures of court excellence. My Lady, the Chief Justice, ladies and gentlemen, kindly take a walk with me down memory lane to about 6 years ago when the Kenyan judiciary took the bold step of introducing performance management in the judiciary. All courts and administrative units signed targets and committed themselves to delivering justice within certain timelines based on 10 measures adopted from the international framework for court excellence. The success brought about by these bold steps taken by the judiciary has elicited a robust discussion between and among judiciaries around the world, as well as scholars, on the pros and cons of institutionalizing performance management in judicial systems. It is therefore critical that we continuously monitor, track, and document the many successes that we have achieved whilst applying international benchmarks that promote court excellence. Since the launch of performance management in 2015, we have witnessed tremendous achievement in key performance indicators in the judiciary. These achievements may be attributed to institutionalizing performance management. Just to mention a few, the judiciary overall case clearance rate was at about 42% in 2015-2016. In 2018-2019, it improved to 97%. Unfortunately, since then, this indicator has been adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, with the period of 2019-2020 registering a drop in performance. On productivity, the magistrate's productivity improved from, and this is actual, 480 cases in 2015-2016 to an all-time high of 958 cases in 2018-2019, and that's per magistrate. It is significant that with the ability to track court performance through data submission daily in the daily court returns, we have been able to identify impediments to the expeditious disposal of cases. All these achievements serve to enhance service delivery to Wanjiku, who is our key stakeholder. Honorable Chief Justice, ladies and gentlemen, today we launch the 5th cycle of Performance Evaluation Report. This is a testament of the Kenyan judiciary's commitment to continuously live up to the enshrined constitutional values of transparency and accountability. This steadfastness can be attributed to the persistent hard work and effort across the institution, coupled with the tremendous support of our partners in the justice system and the government at large. This launch is a culmination of several processes which began in August-September 2019, when over 270 units comprising courts, registries and directorates, together with other agencies of the judiciary, signed the 5th cycle of Performance Management and Measurement Understandings, which we commonly call the PMMUs, during this period. Under its review, courts and administrative units worked tirelessly and with unswerving commitment to ensure full achievement of the agreed targets, despite the challenges and disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. I'd like to ensure all of us gathered here that the evaluation report the Honourable Chief Justice will launch today is a result of a duteous, step-by-step, consultative and objective process. This report illustrates the performance of the different implementing units centered on the targets they set on various indicators, such as case backlog reduction, case clearance rate, determination of cases within the stipulated timelines, and on productivity. The report also catalogues a myriad of challenges encountered by the implementing units, as well as the recommendations aimed at improving future performance management tools. These recommendations will empower courts and individuals to gauge their performance against both their peers and themselves, with the sole purpose of raising the standards and quality of services to our fellow Kenyans. Honourable Chief Justice, ladies and gentlemen, the evaluation process is elaborate and objective, and to a very great extent comprises an accurate assessment of the targeted work going on at unit level. The process combines statistics and activities captured each day in the daily court returns template, that's the DCRT, and an open and participatory discussion conducted at the court stations with resident judges, heads of station and their teams. This is in addition to production of relevant documentary evidence to support those achievements, together with explanations on any exogenous factors that may have affected their performance. Once the deliberations are concluded, scores are assigned against each indicator. The scores are then computed through an automated platform and then moderated and verified in conformity with the principles of performance evaluation. It should, however, be appreciated that the performance results that we are launching here today are attained against the backdrop of the COVID-19 outbreak, which affected normal court operations. There were instances when courts had to shut down completely or partially, with operations being scaled down as the pandemic spread across the country. some judges, judicial officers, and staff were not spared. Litigants and witnesses were also affected following government-imposed containment measures, including lockdowns, and which affected movement. The COVID-19 pandemic affected performance across all sectors of the economy, as well as other organizations worldwide. Mitigation of these effects required accelerated digitalization and adoption of ICT-enabled platforms to ensure continuity of service delivery, as has been mentioned before. The judiciary was not left behind, as it adopted virtual courts and electronic case management systems, including electronic filing, in a bid to render expeditious services to the public. It is my earnest prayer and hope that we shall not tire in putting our best foot forward as we embrace the culture of accountability through the sustained institutionalization of performance management in the judiciary. Honorable Chief Justice, ladies and gentlemen, this will require us to continue to purposely and intentionally commit our efforts towards building synergies that go beyond the call of duty. Then, and only then, will we be able to sit back and marvel at the influence and impact we have achieved in ensuring that our fellow Kenyans access justice expeditiously. Allow me to conclude my remarks by conveying once again, and on behalf of the Administration of Justice and Performance Management Committee, our appreciation for the leadership and support we have received from the Honorable the Chief Justice. Sincere gratitude to the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary for supporting and facilitating this extensive and highly impactful process. Deep thanks to the Judicial Service Commission, development partners, individual judges, judicial officers, and staff for support and invaluable contributions that have shaped this report. We cannot forget to appreciate the role of the various players and stakeholders in the justice sector, without whom implementation of this system would not have been a success. At this juncture, I cannot forget to record my deepest appreciation to all the members of the Performance, Management and Measurement Steering Committee, the predecessor of this reconstituted committee, whose tireless dedication, foresight and courage has seen the judiciary reap the benefits of performance management over the years. And to my fellow committee members of our committee, the Director of Performance Management and Organizational Planning, Dr. Kimalu, and your invaluable performance management team, thank you for your unwavering commitment to the work of institutionalizing performance management. And at this juncture, I wish to say thank you all and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Justice Murgo. And kindly, before you take your seat, I would request that you make a presentation of your report to the Honorable the Chief Justice. And we'll have a brief photo moment on the podium. Thank you. Thank you. As for a better shot, indeed, what gets measured gets done. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much again. At this juncture, I wish to acknowledge Honorable Jennifer Shamala, who is representing the chairperson of the parliamentary JLAC, who is going to make remarks on behalf of the chairperson. Honorable Shamala.
Honorable My Lady Chief Justice Martha Koome, Honorable My Lady Deputy Chief Justice Philomena Mwilu, Honorable Judges, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. On a lighter touch, I think we need some humor and some relief. When you saw me walk up and bowing to all these ladies, distinguished ladies there, I was doing that because I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and I must never forget that. You're not elected to it. It's a lifetime calling. So even as much as I am a member of Parliament, representing special interests, and a member of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee, I will always be in the court corridors. Having said that, I want to state that indeed, from what I have heard here today, technology is the greatest equalizer. Lee Kuan Yew, the founding father of Singapore, said it was technology and education. And we have seen the benefits of technology during the pandemic. The most positive aspect of this pandemic was the use of technology within the courts. Indeed, it is also with regards to access to justice, because for a country that has the highest internet penetration on the continent of Africa, the courts are literally at a button away on your mobile phone. And in this case, I also want to state that the Small Claims Court is one of the courts that also enhances access to justice. It demonstrates that we vividly need an engagement between constructive engagement and continuous enhanced engagement between the two arms of government, which is the Parliament and the Judiciary. The greatest beneficiaries of this access to justice vision of yours, my Lady Chief Justice, are those discriminated against, victims of gender-based violence and other marginalized people. I mean, I don't need to go into all that because we all know that. And I wish to state, last but not least, that the CJ has embarked on a milestone that will transform the rule of law, and the greatest beneficiary from what I see here today is Wanjiku. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Shamala, for those remarks.
Being an officer of the court, my Lady, the Chief Justice, I do beg to seek your leave because I am attending a workshop where I'm needed to present on countering violent extremism, and it is with our chosen generation, the Joshua generation, who are the youth of this country. So I request your leave.
Thank you again, Honorable Shamala, for your remarks. Thank you. At this juncture, I'll have the honor of welcoming the Deputy Head of the Public Service, that's Honorable Wanyama Musiambo, to make his remarks. Welcome.
The Honorable Lady Chief Justice, Martha Koome, the Deputy Chief Justice, Madam Philomena Mwilu, The Deputy Speaker of the Senate, Professor Margaret Kamal, distinguished members of the Judicial Service Commission, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Lady Chief Justice, first and foremost, I'm standing here on behalf of the head of the public service, Dr. Joseph Kinyua, who would have liked to be here personally, but because of duties elsewhere, asked me to come and represent him in this very, very important occasion. Lady Chief Justice, let me just make two remarks. One is to be able to congratulate you on your appointment, and more importantly, to congratulate you on this occasion on what that is happening in the judiciary. I want to emphasize two things which have already been said by other speakers before me, and it does no harm to mention, even if it may appear as a repetition, because these are very critical things that are happening in the public service. The first is the whole question of performance management and evaluation. In the executive, you're all aware, the executive started this performance management and evaluation way back. We're almost 3 decades now since this system was adopted. And it has given us results. Today, when we look at our public service, and particularly the executive, we see a lot of professionalism, because now we have been able to cut away wastage. We have been able to manage the public service better. We have been able to remove officers who have been lethargic because of this system. Because targets are given, the tools have been properly prepared, and the targets have been given, and therefore it is always very easy to do an evaluation, which we do every year, and we are able to give rewards and sanctions to respective public officers as they perform. And therefore, this is one tool or one function that we must emphasize, that we cannot just operate in any other way other than being able to evaluate ourselves, to evaluate the officers across government. It is not only one arm of government, but it is across government, to ensure that we give to Kenyans, who are the taxpayers, what is due to them. Point number 2, Lady Chief Justice, is the question of technology, which has been mentioned here severally by other speakers. We all appreciate and know that with COVID, if we had not developed our technology properly, we would not have been able to function as a government, because we got to a time, we got to a point where we could not just, and we had to ask officers at certain levels, certain cadres, to be able to operate from their homes or from elsewhere, just to ensure that we maintain and keep the protocols, the social distancing, and all those health protocols that go with the management of COVID. And because of technology, government has been able to run, because officers have been able to operate and to work from their respective places, whether at home, whether other places, but officers have been able to work, and the government has been able to run without any interruption. And therefore, the whole question of technology is not a question we can belabor, but it's a question that each one of us, across government, the 3 arms of government, building synergy to ensure that we move to another level. Even during the period post-COVID, we don't know when that will be, but we know it will come to be post-COVID, that is the direction we need to move to, so that we don't go back, but we keep improving and improving on technology to ensure that the service that government provides is efficient, is faster, is reliable, is measurable. In conclusion, Lady Chief Justice, what the Kenyan ordinary person requires, popularly referred to as Wanjiku, is the whole question of quick service delivery. We are here because of service delivery. We are here because of Wanjiku. We are here because of that taxpayer. And therefore, regardless of what we are doing, what the Kenyan expects is nothing short of service delivery. And therefore, I just want to take this opportunity once more to thank you specifically and to thank the judiciary, because what is happening today, what we are witnessing, is enhancement of service delivery to Wanjiku. And with those remarks, I say thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Musiambo, for those remarks, and again emphasizing the place of technology in service delivery and the whole question of service delivery as very fundamental. Thank you. At this point, I wish to welcome the Honorable Professor Margaret Kamar, who is the Deputy Speaker of the Senate, to make her remarks. Welcome.
Thank you. The Honorable Justice Martha Koome, the Chief Justice, Honorable Lady Justice Philomena Mwilu, the Deputy Chief Justice and Vice President of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Lady Justice Agnes Murgor, the Chairperson of the Administration of Justice and Performance Management Committee, the Deputy Head of Public Service, the Registrar of the Judiciary, Honorable Anne Amadi, all representatives that are here from the various arms of government, including Parliament, and I recognize my sister who has just left. Honorable Chief Justice, today we are here to celebrate you once again. May I take the first opportunity to congratulate you for being the first woman Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya. Secondly, I would like to congratulate you for what you are about to do, which is to launch your vision for the next 10 years. This is an indication that in the last 100 days, you worked tirelessly to make sure that you set a direction that you will follow and that the judiciary will follow for the next 10 years. I congratulate you because without a vision, the Bible says people perish. Without a vision, you would not know where to take this judiciary. So it takes a very intelligent head of an institution to set targets, not only for yourself, but for the institution that you are leading. And for that, I really congratulate you. My second congratulation is to the judiciary as a whole, because of the Performance Management Measurement Understandings Evaluation Report 2019-2010. But the first congratulation really goes to the fact that you are the first ones in Africa to do this. May I say congratulations. When performance contract came into this country, I was in the university. And it took us a very long time to understand what it was, because we thought when you teach, you have taught. But eventually we discovered that there is also bad teaching. Eventually we discovered that it is possible to go to class, one teaches 10, another one teaches 100, and nobody has a measure of who has done what. So performance measurement, management is a very, very important tool. And I'm glad that the judiciary in our country impressed it very, very early. Because it is very important that we measure what we do. It is true that what you measure is what you do. if you don't measure anything, you have no idea whether you have done or you have not done. So this measurement, this performance management and measurement understanding is a tool that will let us even know whether we have moved from 1 year, whether we are performing from 1 year to the next year, and what has not happened. And it is very true, as Justice Murgo said, that it also highlights the challenges that we have, because there is nothing we can do in any sector without challenges. But when you identify those challenges, then you are able to address and move on. So this, to me, is really the best thing that the judiciary did for this country, the fact that you can measure. We know that when we think of judiciary, we are thinking of justice, and we say delayed justice is denied justice, and we become the loudest when we are parliamentarians on that one, and we cling to that without knowing what may be going on the other side. But Madam Chief Justice, I'm here on behalf of the legislative arm of government, and I want to give you assurance that we shall work together to make sure that you fulfill what you have set forward to do for this country. I want to give you assurance on behalf of my speaker, who asked me to bring his greetings and congratulations too, because we recognize the fact that with the incoming of the Constitution 2010, 2 houses of parliament were introduced. And in some instances, we also have conflicts even between ourselves. Sometimes we are inviting you, and the National Assembly inviting you for the same thing. And we have reached a point, and we are glad that we went to court and it was passed that there are some things that we must also consult between ourselves. So that even laws that we are formulating now, there are laws that must be that demand that there must be evidence of consultation. And this is one of the areas that we are looking at currently. So soon, because we are only 8 years old and at devolution, very soon things are going to be sorted out. And a lot of things are going to be done in a more organized manner. Devolution is still the baby in the room in this country, and we believe that we are going to panel pit and things are going to be done. So I want to assure you that all will be well between the legislative and oversight arm of government and the judiciary and the executive, because we are all trying to look at the issues that have really caused the frictions that have sometimes come up. So I want to assure the judiciary that as the legislative arm, we are debating and looking at those issues. Finally, Madam Lady Justice, again, I want to congratulate you because you came in running. You didn't hesitate. When you took up the position, you came running. For some of us, we are not surprised because we knew you from when you were in the Law Society of Kenya. In fact, as the wonderful members of the Judicial Service Commission were doing interviews, some of us had already ranked you before they made the announcement. And I want to assure you that with that running that we have started, the country will be different. It will be different because we know the commitment that you had. I do remember very well the times when you sacrificed to be with women every lunch hour in the Bomas constitution-making process. Your passion to see equality of purpose within the country, your passion to see women move into position of leadership, and we thank God that God delivered one to you yourself. And I must say that we are very proud as a country that one of the 3 arms is already led by a lady. So we are already in the 30% that we have been looking for. And with those remarks, congratulations again, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Kamar, and thank you for your pledge of support to the judiciary. and indeed also just emphasizing the place of vision. People that change the world are people that have targets and that have got a vision. Experts tell us that it is only 3% of people in the world that have targets and goals. The other 97% just, live and float. So I'm happy that as the judiciary, we have targets, we have goals, and that means we are going places. At this juncture, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome the Honorable, the Deputy Chief Justice, to make her remarks, and thereafter welcome the Honorable Chief Justice. My Lady, Honorable Deputy Chief Justice.
The Honorable, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, who is also the President of the Supreme Court, the Honorable Representative of the Houses of Parliament, the Deputy Speaker of the Senate, Professor Margaret Kamar, my colleague judges on the Supreme Court of Kenya, the President of the Court of Appeal, the Honorable Mr. Justice Kio Musinga, the Principal Judge of the High Court, the Honorable Achode, the Honorable Principal Judge of the Environment and Land Court, Presiding Judge of the Principal Judge of the ELRC, Honorable Judges of the Superior Courts here present, Honorable Commissioners of the Judicial Service Commission, and the Honorable Chair of the Subcommittee on the Administration of Justice, the Honorable Mr. Justice David Majanja, the Honorable Lady Justice Agnes Murgo, the Chair of the Judiciary Administration of Justice and Performance Management Committee, together with your members here present, the Honorable Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, my sister, the representative of the Attorney General, Dr. Fred Ojambo, Teresa from the IDLO, all our development partners here present, all institutional stakeholders present, my colleagues, the judicial officers, and our staff present this morning, the Deputy Head of the Executive, Mr. Musiambo Wanyama, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am pleased to be here today to mark the official launch of the Honorable the Chief Justice's vision, the social transformation through access to justice, and the 2019-2020 Performance Management and Measurement Understandings Evaluation Report. It is indeed apt that these two important institutional documents are being launched together today as they speak to each other. The co-principles in this STAJ vision are efficiency, accountability, and transparency. The other, the PMMUs, that have now become standard fare for our institution, speak to institutional, individual accountability, data-driven assessment, and data-based strategic planning. The vision being launched today is not so much solely the Honorable the Chief Justice's vision, but our collective and shared vision, the judiciary vision. This is so because, in my considered view, no single Chief Justice on their own can execute the mandate of a vision, for I say that is the task for all of us. Your Ladyship, the Honorable the Chief Justice, I trust that all members of our judiciary family shall render their unwavering support and commitment towards imbuing all activities and actions across the judiciary with the spirit and principles contained in the vision and in realizing its objectives. Ladies and gentlemen, the PMMU's evaluation report documents the hard work, the effort, and the commitment of judges, judicial officers, and judiciary staff across the institution during the 5th cycle of performance management and measurement understandings from June 2019 to June 2020. The evaluation report Her Ladyship is launching today provides a scorecard of the commitments and targets by the courts on various measures, including the determination of cases within specified time frames, trial date certainty, case clearance rates, backlog reduction, and timely delivery of rulings and judgments. It is a scorecard of what we said we were going to do vis-a-vis what we then did. We urge the public, court users, institutional actors in governance and the administration of justice, and members of civil society to robustly interrogate this important report and again engage with the judiciary on its contents. Whilst we recognize the very good work being undertaken across the country through the judiciary, we also acknowledge that a lot more needs to be done. We cannot improve alone. We require your constructive feedback, your constructive advice. Ladies and gentlemen, as the institution of the judiciary, we've come a long way towards improving our accountability to court users and to the public, whose delegated sovereignty judicial authority we are privileged to exercise. In the PMMU report, we tell the public what we have done towards the provision of quality services. In the STAJ vision of the Chief Justice of the Judiciary, we outline our commitment to do even better. And whilst it is right, and we should be proud to speak about the achievements we have realized in service delivery to the people of Kenya, often in very difficult circumstances, we acknowledge the considerable room for improvement and the challenges that we need to overcome in order to dispense the quality of justice that Kenyans deserve. My dear colleagues, I support the vision, the one championed by Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, for an independent and adequately resourced judiciary that has a positive impact on the country's socio-economic and human development. I hope that the rest of us support it. Whilst I think it is now widely accepted that the Kenyan judiciary plays a critical role in strengthening the socio-economic development, enhancing investor confidence in the investment environment, and achievement of the national agenda, this recognition should be reflected in corresponding commitment to ensuring that the judiciary is adequately resourced and enabled to play its important constitutional functions. Under your leadership, Chief Justice, the judiciary continues to engage with our partners in the national and county governments, our development partners, and all the other stakeholders in the justice sector so as to deepen our constructive engagements for our mutual benefit and, most importantly, for that of the people of Kenya. I thank you most sincerely for your continuing support as the judiciary continues on its journey to transformation into a modern, efficient, and responsive judiciary that will deliver expeditious and quality service to the people of Kenya. Above all, I thank the Almighty God for enabling us to assemble here today. We are thankful for His unmerited, boundless love and grace. And during this unprecedented, I've never been able to pronounce this word right the first time, unprecedented pandemic. Those of you who went to a group of schools, please help me. I beseech God to comfort those who have suffered loss, to heal those that are currently battling the affliction, and to continue to protect all our frontline workers who so dutifully and selflessly continue to work every day under extremely difficult circumstances to keep us safe. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, before I invite the Honorable the Chief Justice to deliver her official statement and officially do these two launches, to thank those who have contributed to making today's launches possible. I thank all the judges, judicial officers, and judiciary staff whose commitment and passion ensure that the judiciary is continually improving herself in service delivery and our customers' experience. Your collective efforts, our collective efforts, too often overlooked and underappreciated, have resulted in tangible improvements in access to justice for many Kenyans. I thank and celebrate you all, both individually and collectively as members of this institution that we serve. And I ask you to join me in doubling our commitment and resolve to be self-driven, to realize our collective vision for social transformation through access to justice. As always, it now is my singular honor and privilege to invite the Honorable the Chief Justice of the Republic social transformation through access to justice, and also to launch the Performance Management and Measurement Understandings Evaluation Report for the period 2019-2020. Thank you very much for doing what I was just about to say, that we all be upstanding, put our hands together, and bring the Honorable the Chief Justice here to talk to us.
Good afternoon, everybody. Please let us be seated. Thank you very much, my sister, the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice and Vice President of the Supreme Court. Allow me to kindly adopt the very elaborate list of protocols that has been recited here by my sister, the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice, and allow me to thank each one of you for coming to this important ceremony where we launch the two documents, the vision that we envisage for the judiciary going forward, and the performance measurement and management report. Allow me also to appreciate the speakers who have spoken before me for their very, very kind words of encouragement, very profound statements that they have given us this morning, pledge of support. We appreciate all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, you are all selected very carefully as very, very key stakeholders to come and witness this occasion, to come and support us. And we also take this opportunity to appreciate those who are watching us online, those who are joining us on the various platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and other platforms. Due to the COVID protocols, we could not hold a big ceremony like we are used to. So today you join us as we launch these two important documents. As everybody has said, they are central to the operations of the judiciary going into the future. The vision for the judiciary and the report on the 5th cycle of the performance management and measurement understanding of the judiciary. As the Honorable Deputy Chief Justice has said, two documents speak to each other. On 21st May 2021, I took the oath of office as Kenya's 15th Chief Justice, following a transparent and competitive recruitment process that was conducted by the Judicial Service Commission. And I want to thank all of you who have stood by me, congratulating me and giving me words of wisdom and encouragement. Today, I want to share with you the roadmap for what I perceive as the future of the judiciary under my stewardship. I see my tenure as Chief Justice as affording me and all those who work in the judiciary, the judges, magistrates, judicial staff, and the stakeholders, all of us, we've been given an opportunity to champion the cause of realizing the dream of many Kenyans for a judiciary that is transformative. That dream is to see a judiciary develop into a vibrant, efficient, independent, accessible institution that is responsive to the aspirations of Kenyans and serves as a true guardian of the rule of law and our democracy. It is within this context that I consulted with the leadership of the judiciary, and I'm most grateful for their insightful views and comments, the management, and a small team of my office, assisted by Downberg International, to come up with the vision for the judiciary. This vision builds on the achievements of previous judicial reforms encompassed in the two preceding blueprints: the Judiciary Transformation Framework, which we all know as the JTF 2012-2016, and the Sustaining Judiciary Transformation, SJT 2017-2021. And my vision also is aligned with the Judiciary's Strategic Plan 2019-2023, which we are implementing. Ladies and gentlemen, this vision for the judiciary is drawn from the pronouncement in the preambular provisions of the Constitution that firstly acknowledges the supremacy of Almighty God, who is our creator and author of justice, recognizing that we partner with God to discharge justice. It also recognizes the sovereignty of the people who have donated their power to the judiciary. We have drawn from Article 10 on the values and principles of national governance that guide us, Article 19(2) on the purpose of the Bill of Rights that we will be implementing to secure the human rights of our people. These provisions highlight and affirm that the Constitution of Kenya 2010 is a charter for social transformation. Thus is the anchor for this vision. Further, the Constitution in its values, principles, and rules reflect the desire by Kenyans to break with our country's past, which, as we all know, was an authoritarian governance and an equal society. Thankfully for our Constitution, it strikes radically and paves a different path of creating a democratic, accountable, participatory, and equal state and society. It means that Kenyans, by enacting the 2010 Constitution, intended to create a responsive state geared towards enhancing public welfare and constructing a just society. And just to celebrate this profound Constitution, allow me to thank you for appreciating this bench of women sitting here, because 11 years ago, this bench was made up of men. So this is a transformative Constitution. It is the social transformation foresight of the Constitution that informs this vision for the judiciary, and we have christened it social transformation through access to justice, otherwise STAJ, STAJ. It is a vision born out of the reality that justice is cross-cutting and is a natural desire, a legitimate expectation of every person to be treated justly and to treat others justly. We consider all people and parties stakeholders in the delivery of justice, whilst also recognizing that we, the judiciary, do not serve ourselves, but are established to serve others. The judiciary, under this leadership, will therefore be focused on opening and broadening its doors to litigants and rendering justice to all who seek it within our borders. But this goal of widening access to justice will only be attained when we have a place for efficiency, when we have a place to consider the cost effectiveness of the justice that we deliver, when we have a place to consider how accessible are we, when we have a place to consider how we can be expeditious without turning litigants years on end, and a fair system of delivering justice. Bearing this in mind, this vision is predicated on 5 guiding principles. And these are accessibility and efficiency, transparency and accountability, inclusiveness and shared leadership, independence of our operational mandates, cooperative dialogue, and social justice. The implementation of the social transformation through access to justice vision under these principles is geared towards ensuring that our judiciary is a strong institution that will be accessible and efficient and will protect the rights of all, especially the vulnerable. The team of judges, judicial officers, and judiciary staff are inspired and committed to excellence in the delivery of justice. The institution's financial mechanisms are also strengthened to support the independence and integrity of the judiciary. That we have a place for a strong and deep partnerships with those that we work with, that will enhance coordination in the administration of justice and the public trust and confidence in the judicial system. Ladies and gentlemen, the reforms envisaged are informed by the realization that despite tremendous achievements realized in the past 10 years since we embarked on the judiciary transformation after the 2010 Constitution, we all acknowledge the judiciary continues to face challenges related to access to justice and responsive justice that has been impeded by a huge backlog of cases. And this issue which we continuously address of accountability, because even though we are independent, we are accountable. Addressing these challenges requires an approach which recognizes the gains made, but also seeks to chart a path that ensures that we meet the goal of building an institution that is truly responsive to the public needs and inspires and engenders the confidence of the people that we serve. In addition, while access to justice is crucial, the judiciary should always strive to establish itself as a world-class institution with effective structures, norms, and systems which position us as an engine for society transformation. And this is truly what is envisaged in the Constitution. Towards this end, we will strive to remove barriers to access to justice and ensure that all persons are enabled to seek and obtain redress for their grievances through formal and informal institutions of justice in compliance with the human rights standards. In addition, we will endeavor to ensure that public walk with us this journey because we serve them, and that we will engender their confidence in the institution of the judiciary by dealing firmly and swiftly, but also fairly, with concerns that they raise relating to the integrity and also relating to the issues of corruption that may arise within the institution of the judiciary. To comply with the constitutional demands that we must guarantee justice for all persons regardless of their status, that we must deliver justice expeditiously and without undue regard to technicalities, and take steps to reduce obstacles that hinder access to justice, we will place particular and determined focus on reducing proximity and physical access to courts and ensuring that we hear and determine those cases in all the corners of this country. We should not have any litigants traveling more than 100 kilometers to access a court. And no court case should be dragging in judicial corridors for more than 3 years in a trial court and 1 year in an appellate court. To achieve this, we need everybody's support. The main thrust of this vision for the judiciary is to ensure that we have a judiciary that is efficient in services. I sit in the Supreme Court as the president, and I envisage the same standard that I will be embracing in that court will be the same standard that will govern the magistrate learning, the smallest court, the small claims court, or the Kadis court, or the tribunals, all the way to the superior court. We will have the same standards that will be guiding us. What this means is that every court station will be strive to be a center of excellence in the delivery of justice. After all of us in those are lawyers, are trained in the work that we do. To ensure our courts and tribunals become centers of excellence, the judiciary's efforts will be focused on implementing strategies and innovations geared towards eliminating the delay and backlog. This will involve embracing active case management, such that in every court registry, every case will be under active management, either by the clerk, either by the deputy registrar, or by the judicial officer or the judge who is overseeing the docket. We will be reforming the operations of our registries to ensure that all files are monitored so that they don't stay inactive in the registries. Reforming our court practices so that the practice of adjournment of scheduled proceedings is eliminated, and the enhancement of the place of technology in our operations. We will also seek to improve the work environment to ensure that our judges, judicial officers, and staff, members of the tribunals, have an enabling environment that supports optimal performance and improves litigants' experiences. It would be remiss not to mention and express my gratitude to all judges, judicial officers, members of the tribunals, and our very, very faithful members of staff of the judiciary, the directorates, for the hard work they have put over the years and continue to put to ensure that our courts are running. I particularly want to commend you for the innovation you embraced since the COVID-19 pandemic struck us in 2020. The pandemic has changed the way our courts operate. It has forced us to accelerate the uptake and use of ICT in our operations. And I really want to thank all the actors in the justice system, including our development partners. I see the IDLO, our very faithful partner, is here, the European Union, PRINT, the World Bank, the UN, and so many other partners who came to support us during this period of pandemic to ensure that the wheels of justice kept on turning, notwithstanding the devastating effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our aim is to continuously continue to improve our service delivery and to continue embracing and improving on technology as an enabler in ensuring access to justice. The process that follows the launch of this vision is the development of the next 10-year judiciary blueprint. This is just a roadmap that marks the steps we are going to follow, which will guide the operations for the next 10 years. The vision that we unveil today, as we discussed it with the various teams, the very big dream we have for the judiciary could not fit in the normal 5-year plan. Therefore, we decided to think about 10 years. Because we have many, many things we want to do. The judiciary will take charge of the infrastructure development, which, as we know, is wanting, especially in Nairobi. We are all squeezed and sitting nearly on one another in this building, which was built in 1935. The Constitution of Kenya gave us the Supreme Court, but we have not built a home for the Supreme Court. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to join us now to have a dignified Supreme Court and quarter of the judiciary, which is a state-of-the-art building like we have the Houses of Parliament. You'll also join us as we try to establish a home for our Judiciary Training Institute, which is currently homeless since we were given notice to vacate from the places where we were operating in Muthaiga. But we are lucky and happy to report that we have been allocated some land where we'll be also aiming to establish a state-of-the-art judiciary training academy for our judges, magistrates, and staff. We are under pressure to establish mediation suites, mediation and arbitration center for our alternative justice system, and we will also be engaging you to think of how we can have a one-stop shop where all our mediation, arbitration, and alternative justice multi-door approaches we are embracing can be done, because those places are scattered all over town and it's not even convenient to share resources. This is why the plan goes into 10 years, because it looks into the future. The next decade will phase out many things that have impeded justice, some of them being the allocation of resources, some of them being the way we operate and handle matters, because we'll be embracing technology, and the collective efforts of all in the justice sector is really, really what we are calling for and what we want to build in this vision, a partnership where there is somebody for everybody, for every stakeholder. In this same vein, I will champion a decade where all the actors called by the Constitution to deliver access to justice collaborate and cooperate with the aim of connecting the ends of justice, I appreciate the executive and the legislative arms of government for their support and willingness to support us in delivering what the Constitution has given us. That is social transformation through access to justice. As you see from the vision, the path the Kenyan judiciary has deliberately chosen since the two blueprints of societal transformation and change, the path of accountability and results, the path of transparency and openness, the path of quick and effective dispensation of justice, the path of provision of equality of services to litigants, placing a lot of emphasis on resource-based management. We in the judiciary ask ourselves every day, what have we done to earn our keep? This goal of engendering resource-based management includes the institutionalization of a reward system for high performance. And allow me at this juncture to really thank and congratulate our performance committee, led by our very able Lady Justice Agnes Murugo and your entire committee for the work that you have done. Please allow them to stand up so that we appreciate all of them, because we are here to celebrate this milestone, which is the first in Africa, because of your commitment and your resilience. It is not easy to visit these judges and look at them on their faces and ask them, where are your results? But you have done it without any fear or favor. Thank you very much, and keep up the good work. To that effect now, because of your work, we are happy to present to you, our dear guests, and our viewers who are following us online, the best performing implementing units during this 5th cycle of implementing the performance management and measurement understanding, PMMUs, in the judiciary. Ladies and gentlemen, the results that we are releasing today have categorized courts based on the number of filed cases. They show that the best performing high court stations in different categories were Makueni, Milimani Civil Division, Nakuru High Court, while in Employment and Labor Relations Court, Kisumu and Nakuru were leading in performance. In Environment and Land Court, Murang'a, Milimani and Nakuru courts were the best performing stations. There were 6 best performing magistrates courts in different categories. And these were Limuru, and I can see the Honorable Commissioner Orwande, who just left Limuru for Mavoko. I believe she will deliver the same results for the new station. Marsabit, Mombasa Magistrates Court, Engineer, Tononoka Children's Court, and Gatondo Magistrates Court. On the performance of the Kadis courts, we celebrate Garissa and Voi Kadis courts, who emerged the top performance. The best performing tribunals were the Cooperative Tribunal and the National Environment Tribunal. There was also a category of the best performing administrative units, and what was spotted as the best is the Office of the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary. Congratulations, Madam Chief Registrar. Office of the Registrar Environment and Land Court. Did I see Honorable Makungu? We also recognize the performance of the Director Supply Chain Management, Mr. Ndosi, And we also recognize the Judiciary Training Institute, which was under the leadership of our director, Mr. Justice Kadurimanto Ineti. Congratulations. Kindly join me in appreciating the performance of these courts, tribunals, and administrative units for their exemplary performance, and we will anchor a piece of the vision's intention of internal benchmarking to create centers of excellence. We want to know how you performed so well so that it can be duplicated in other stations. So this exercise will commence with Nakuru locus, where we'll benchmark, and I'm told we'll start this with a virtual session where we'll have like a town hall meeting, and many of us will be able to log in to learn from Nakuru how they did this. I take this opportunity to direct the Judiciary Training Institute, the Directorate of Planning and Organization of Performance, and the Chief of Staff to design a performance case studies from this exemplar performance to be used in training and excellence building exercises going forward. We really do not want to lose on this leadership which you have established. We want to learn from it and improve. As I have said, I will not get tired to recognize the committee led by her leadership, Justice Agnes Murugo, Judge of Appeal, for the work you have done in delivering this report, which is very informative. And beginning next week, my office will commence an intense period of these town hall meetings led by the DCJ and I to discuss these findings with judges, judicial officers, and members of staff. Our performance randa will be engaged on how well we serve the public. God bless you, and God continue to guide all of you. And at this juncture now, allow me to officially launch the Judiciary's vision that will inform our development of our blueprint moving forward. When you get that copy, you will see the roadmap of how we will proceed from here until March next year, beginning March next year, when we hope to come up with the complete blueprint, complete with the work plan, complete with the budget of how this dream will be realized, and also to launch the performance management and measurement understanding evaluation report 2019-2020. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for your continued prayers. God bless you.
Thank you, my lady, Honorable Chief Justice. We are going to celebrate you in a moment for that momentous speech. There has been a seamless and peaceful transfer of power from Honorable DCRJ, and thank you for taking us through that first session. So I'll take over from now. I would request distinguished guests, honorable guests, that we stand so that we appreciate the speech by the Honorable the Chief Justice. And we're going to do it like this. We're going to appreciate, first of all, the people of Kenya who have trusted us to make decisions on their behalf, and who, as we can see from the speech of the Chief Justice, she's thinking of how we can improve in service delivery. So we're going to appreciate that first category, and we'll do it in a special way. We'll give them what we call the JTI clap, the Judiciary Training Institute clap, which is just one big clap. You just clap, and that is it. So when I say, let's clap, we will. So let us appreciate all the people of Kenya who have relied on the judiciary to deliver justice on their behalf. One big clap. We also want to appreciate our Chief Justice, who has provided us with the vision. She has given us, shown us the way where we, as the people who serve in the judiciary, will follow you as we serve the people of Kenya during the next 10 years, God giving us grace. And I pray that he will also give you wisdom and continue to lead you as you govern us. So can we appreciate our Chief Justice who has given the vision within 100 days of being appointed to office. Let's give her one JTI clap. Thank you. Lastly, we are going to appreciate the judges, magistrates, judicial officers, the judicial staff who serve in the judiciary for the work they do every day. We have some who have excelled, but even for those who have not excelled, we are all serving, we are all learning, and hopefully next year we'll have a different team which will have been the first among equals. Let us celebrate all the members of the judiciary family who are performing this important task. One big JTI clap. Thank you very much. You may have a seat. My lady, we will now have a short presentation on the vision of the Honorable Chief Justice, and then we will move on with the program.
On 21st May 2021, I took the oath of office as Kenya's 15th Chief Justice, following a transparent and competitive recruitment process conducted by the Judicial Service Commission. After 100 days in office, I share with Kenyans my vision for a judiciary that